Alrighty, welcome to week 10. Week 7 for English 10. If you're watching this, it's because you were going to be gone at some point, or it's because you are in my second period class and I will be gone on Thursday. I'm taking my Avid class to OSU for a field trip. So I will be gone, and if you are needing some extra help on that day to figure out what you are supposed to be doing, watch this video. Fast forward to that part. All right, so this week is our full week before we have conferences, parent-teacher conferences during week 8. So we are picking back up where we left off with our persuasion unit. And this week we're talking about advertising. It's one of my favorite parts of this unit that we do because it's so much fun and it's very interesting. We are in a new 6 weeks, so pretend that everything is in a locked box from the last 6 weeks because it is. Unless you have a very valid reason and you come and talk to me as to why you need to submit something or resubmit something, I will not be touching any late assignments from that box. So moving on, we're in week 7. This first activity that we do on Monday is going to be something that is an in-class activity, so you really can't fill this slide out. We're going to be doing it's called a Madison Avenue gallery walk. You're going to be walking around the room. There's pictures posted, and you're going to answer this question: what is the point of advertising? Why does it exist? And taking some notes of the things that you notice about the ads in the room. And you'll be doing that on this handout. And then for second period, I am going to go over the project that I will go over with 6th period on Friday because I will be gone on Thursday with you, and I want to go over that with you on Monday. So Monday, 2nd period, I will go over the instructions, which is the second half of this video. Okay. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we are going to look at persuasive techniques that are in advertising. Advertising can come in many forms. What we're really used to is videos and little quick clips on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. There are still like written ads that are in like magazines or kind of one pagers or posters, but I think videos are a lot more common. So we're going to look at a combination of both. With this, we will go through and look at each video, and then on your slides, you need to fill in this part. Whatever's in the box that's empty is going to be on your end. So there are several techniques we're going to look at. First is fear. This is when you are presenting a scary situation, something horrible that you want to avoid, and you're saying, unless you buy this product, you will not be able to avoid that. Bandwagon is the second one. It's everybody's doing it, everybody has it, all the cool people have it, join the crowd. It's something to make you feel like if you don't have this thing, if you don't participate, then you're going to be left out. And have some examples here. Testimonial is all about famous people, whether that be athletes, musicians, actors and actresses, or just people that are famous for whatever reason, influencers. They're using a famous person to endorse a product or person. Now, when we talked about ethos a couple weeks ago, we said that that's the credibility of the source, like how well you can trust something. And the very interesting thing with testimonials and advertising is that it's kind of a form of ethos when it really shouldn't be, because with ethos, you need to be able to have actual experience and background in something. But a lot of times when companies hire or pay to celebrities to be a endorser of a product, they sometimes don't have like any real connection to what the product is. They're just using them because they're famous. And so it's kind of a really interesting phenomenon. So that is testimonial. Loaded words is something that you will see with written words specifically. So these are words with specific connotations that create specific and intended effects. So you look at this list here, they're essentially the same thing, but you change the wording and all of a sudden it changes the perception of what you're talking about based off of prior connotations that you have with the word. Transference is all about very specific choices that are made to transfer good feelings from beloved objects to a person. So you're going to watch this video and then you're going to tell me in bullet points, what do you notice and observe? Like look at the colors, look at the music, or listen to the music, look at what the people are wearing, their facial expressions and body language, and kind of jot down some notes that you see. Repetition is exactly what it sounds like. It's repeating key ideas over and over again. With videos specifically, that connects to slogans, which are jingles, brands use them to get them stuck in your head, and if it's repetitive, if it's catchy, it'll be in your brain for a long time, and that's exactly what they want. We are going to take a break to go on the track in person halfway through. Then when we come back, we'll talk about plain folk. This is the idea that you were trying to appeal to identifying with people that are ordinary. Like, this person in this video, in this ad, is just like me. They're not famous, they're not super rich and wealthy. They're just an ordinary person, and I can relate to them in some way. Which tends to be the opposite of this one, beautiful people. So you are persuading somebody by demonstrating how beautiful people use the product or believe in the idea. This is usually going to be associated and connected with things of wealth and luxury and things that you just dream of, that, usually beautiful people, rich and wealthy people have. Relevancy. These slides you won't see on your copy because I didn't really necessarily think you needed to take notes on it, but relevancy is just having the keen eye and awareness of what is current and what is popular, and using that in your ad because it'll immediately grab people's attention. So in this case, this is an ad for an insurance company, but they're using Spider-Man and partnering with Marvel to get people's attention because this is the first thing that you see, and all of a sudden you think you're watching a trailer when really it's a commercial for insurance. Nostalgia, which this ties heavily into pathos, emotion, and empathy and nostalgia. People go crazy over nostalgia, and it is just reflecting on the happy times in life when you were a kid, growing up, the past. So if you can connect your product to that in some way, it's usually going to grab people's attention. This is probably my number one convincing persuasive technique is humor. If you can make me laugh, odds are I will remember what you were trying to talk to me about or persuade me of. And here are two commercials as examples of that. And then another one that's very powerful, although you don't see as often because it's hard to execute when a commercial is typically 30 seconds or less, is storytelling. Because people love stories and are fascinated by that, and it really grabs your attention and pulls you in immediately. So these are two examples we'll look at. And then on this slide, you are, of course, I told you Spider-Man is one of my favorites. You are going to watch this ad. This is an old ad from when the very first one came out. It's a ad for Audi cars, and you're going to watch this and tell me, out of all of these things, what do you see them using here? Okay, so Thursday and Friday, and again, Thursday I will be gone, so second period you will not see me because I will be on an avid field trip. So the majority of what I'm going to talk about in this part of the video, we will do on Monday. I just want to tell you that if you are upset about your grade in some way, some form or fashion, please know that you can resubmit things to make changes. That has to be within the 6 weeks that it was due. Read the rubric really specifically, and if that's not helpful for you for some reason, ask me about it and I will clarify. And then remember, if you are not doing honors credit, your whole grade, your overall grade, will be bumped up one whole letter grade at the end of the semester because you're not doing honors. So just be aware of that. Okay, we're going to have some time for independent reading. And then we're going to do a grammar lesson. So we're talking about what grammar is and why it's important. We did our very first grammar lesson talking about the universal grammar rule. So kind of going back to that, grammar is the structure of rules and writing. It's parts of speech, it's common errors, it's grammatical structure, it's layout, it's punctuation. And it matters because it's going to give structure to the chaos that allows us to know how to write. I think I kind of already jumped the gun on this a couple weeks ago, but maybe you weren't there or forgot. So this is the metaphor that I like to use if you are aware of sports and participate in them in some way or have at some point. The scoreboard, the referee, the lines on the court or on the field, the rules of the game itself, those are these things: parts of speech, punctuation, structure. When you look at them all by themselves, totally boring, who cares, don't have any interest in it, it's not interesting or fun. But you have to know how those things work and why they're there in order to actually have fun playing the game. If you went to a game and there were absolutely no rules, people would just make up stuff on the fly and you wouldn't even know how to accomplish what you need to accomplish in order to win. It would be really frustrating and really hard to watch. And that's the case with writing. We have to have an understanding of grammar and how it works so that, as I've told you before, you can break the rules and bend the rules as long as you're doing it on purpose and for a purpose, but you have to know what the original purpose is first. So you are going to watch this video. It's called Why Does Grammar Matter, or Does Grammar Matter? And then after that, you are going to answer this question. What is one thing? All I'm asking is one thing that stood out to you, one thing that you learned in this video. Okay, so we are getting to one of my favorite projects that you're going to do this year. It's the Super Bowl ad project. You are going to have the choice to do one of the two following things. You can either create a video ad or you can do a print ad, which is going to be like a magazine. Here's the conditions with that. If you do the print ad, that is a project that you are doing by yourself. If you are doing the video ad, it is going to be in a group, and your group needs to be 4 people or less, 3 to 4 people. With the video, if you would like to include other people in the video that are not a part of your group, as in like family members or friends that are not in this class, that is fine. I've had people do that in the past, but your group needs to be somewhere around 3 to 4 people, and all people need to be involved through those 3 to 4. The due date is kind of TBD because I'm figuring out how long we're going to have with conferences coming up in order to give you some time to work on this. So I'll talk about that more later. And then I will give you some time in class to work on this project, but you're not going to be able to complete the entire project in class without doing it as homework. So be aware of that. So I'm going to give you a handout on Friday for my 6th period, and then 2nd period I will give you a handout on Monday, and you're going to tell me what you want to do. I will show 2nd period on Monday, and then 6th period on Friday. I will show you examples of students that I've had in the past and videos that they've made. They're funny, they're really smart, they're very clever, and they're really cool to watch. So I will show you those then. And then you will fill this out and we'll talk about that later. So the last thing I want to show you in the video, if you go to Canvas and you go to week 7, you will see the slides, and then you're going to see the rubric for both the video and the magazine. It looks very overwhelming. I'm aware of that, but this will tell you everything that you need to know about what you have to have. So I'm not going to necessarily go over this in the video, but take a close look at it when you open it on your screen. And then if you have questions about it, please let me know, but this will tell you what you need to do in order to get the score that you want. So that is all I have for you. If you have any questions, let me know.